Hi everybody, good morning. I'm coming to you this morning with some pretty shocking news. The Arts Only Picture Show live streams are going to be permanently canceled. I have to make a confession to you all that I'm really not, I'm not keeping up my end of the bargain for myself. And I can't keep doing it every week. I'm fronting. You know, what you're seeing is me put on an act for you. And anything you do when you push record on your camera or your phone or whatever it's an act. And to put on a really high quality act, you got to have your shit straight in your heart. And I have a long history of not having my shit straight in my heart. And I've done a lot of really fucking hard, in-depth work to get out of really bad experiences in my past and to make myself emotionally and eventually physically healthier and happier and more present and more kind. And you know, there's another word, they call it mindful. And the process of trying to put on a show every week with Jim and maybe with a guest is not allowing me to be mindful. And you know, I'm not blaming the show specifically, but I have to reel everything in. Like, you'll probably see me in the future on social media a lot less, because I'm using my telephone just like I used to use drugs and alcohol, and I can't do that anymore. You know, I have plans and goals to make my life utterly pleasing to myself and to God, and to be able to remain present and focused with gratitude and love towards all the people that I interact with, whether they're my friends or strangers or even my enemies. You know, I don't want to go too long. I just want to give you guys a heads up. You know, like, I can reassure you that I'll probably still try and clip and snip shows eventually, and like maybe still post something that I edited together every Wednesday of old footage and, you know, like greatest hits or highlight reels. You know, that's something I could see doing. I probably will continue to write articles and or pursue other things. You know, I could consider after I get through a break for a while, a couple weeks or past the holidays, you know, I could see doing still making myself available if people want to interview me on other shows, especially considering our work with Tracy Twyman and the loss of Tracy and how it remains unresolved. But that's all going to be a little ways off, because I'll be honest, I'm in a bad situation right now where I'm estranged from my children. And every year when the holidays come, it's really hard on me. And I've done the great work in the past, 2 or 3 years, of stopping smoking cigarettes and stopping using alcohol, and for the most part, not using marijuana or any other severely mind-altering substances. And so as I head into this season, I'm going to have to honor it. And I find myself regularly kind of trying to get over the irritation of having to stream and, you know, like, hype myself up, and then I'll enjoy the stream while it's happening, and I'll feel energized afterwards for a while, but then I feel deflated, and I feel like a negative anticipation of the planning and organizing process, and fielding a lot of messages and answering a lot of questions. And please don't misunderstand me. I love the people who are interested to reach out to me. I love corresponding with people and trying to answer a question or to dive into a subject with people. I really do. But, you know, not if my kitchen's not clean, and not if my clothes aren't folded and put away, and not if I haven't taken 20 or 30 minutes to exercise and pray and meditate and stretch, and not if it stops me from drawing a picture with a pencil and paper, not if it stops me from reaching out to my own relatives and loved ones that I do appreciate and want to keep in contact with. And right now, that's where I'm at. And, you know, I've talked with Jim about it, and I know that he's disappointed, to say the least. You know, Jim can do whatever he would like to do. I'm not telling him he can't stream or go live or do whatever he wants to do. Might even potentially be able to use my channel maybe, but I don't know, like, not for a while. My gut feeling is like after the turn of the new year and we move into 2020, whatever that's going to be, maybe we could get back together one time at a neutral location, me and Jim, and finally do like record or even live stream one more time, like a true memorial and explanatory show of what happened with Tracy, whatever information we have, and like maybe do a fundraiser to finally get her headstone GoFundMe thing up high enough that the woman that started it could take action. But I want you to know I appreciate y'all. I really do. I'm sure people will feel shocked or abandoned, or some people might be sad or confused, angry, and I honor all of that. I'm sorry to put us all in this situation, but I have to do what's right to truly to be true to my word and true to God, and say, hey, if I'm going to heal myself and heal my family line and even heal the whole line of my ancestors back to the dawn of time, then I can't be allowing, first and foremost, I can't be participating redundantly in things that my heart's not really in. And my heart really hasn't been in this since Tracy first left the show, before she was ever passed away and crossed over to the other side. She left us high and dry, and we were confused and shocked and hurt by it. And at that point, I was ready to fold up shop. And I continued on anyway, because it's part of my codependent history to compromise and do things that I don't necessarily fully invest in or want to do for myself. I'm always partnering up with people and things that it's a claim of, you do this and you'll get that, but a lot of the time I just don't get that. I just end up putting myself out there, and I don't really get anything in return. And I'm not blaming anybody. That's a behavior I have to identify and change, and I've done a great job doing it. My childhood, my upbringing, and everything I've come through to be who I am today is it's a miracle of God that I am healthy and well and alive at all. So I have to keep my center and my focus on that. And if that means shutting down this show and minimizing out my social media and focusing on my interpersonal relationships with my loved ones and sitting with the grief of not being able to see my children, that's what I have to do. And I'll try to keep people on an update once I decide where I'm going. I do have some plans, but what I've said so far is about as interpersonal or intimate as I want to get. I'm not trying to get details out to people. Some people I've talked to in a private capacity, and they are aware of more details. And I beseech all of you, if I've spoken to you in confidence, please keep anything we've said between just you and me and God, because that's what trust is. And if we don't have trust and faith, then we're just lonely ghosts out here. We're just unhappy people. And I find myself still crossing that line. If I was eating pot for a little while to try and tolerate the just life itself, and I quit doing that about a week ago now, a little bit more than a week ago, and I find myself immediately overeating. Like I just went and bought some sugary coffee and a cookie for breakfast, when that's not my thing, man. I mean, I preach about a healthy diet, but it's still a struggle, I really do believe that fruits and raw foods and a focus on a truly clean, healthy diet with no meat, no animal products, and no grains, no processed foods, and only raw fruits and vegetables, or just like mildly cooked stuff if you still have to transition away and you're using some cooked foods. I've found great hope and results from these processes, and I could laundry list you names of men and women who've changed the face of the earth by fully investing with faith in this process. And I'm doing it, but I'm slipping still. I still eat eggs, I still eat cheese, I still order a pizza sometimes, I still stop and buy sugary coffee and eat a cookie or a muffin. And to me, that's a sign that I'm still reaching out for something external to me to self-soothe. And if I'm going to self-soothe, I'd rather do it through breathing exercises and sitting and being present with whatever feelings are going on, so that I make my head and my heart remember that they're one and not two. My head, heart, and gut. You got 3 brains in your body, and everyone focuses on the one that's inside your head. And that's not really true. You know, the information starts in your gut and it travels through the heart to the head. And if the signal comes correctly from the gut and then is translated through the heart and enters into the head, then the head doesn't have so much work to do. It's more like a sorting mechanism. But our sorting mechanism gets stuck like this on spin. And when it gets stuck on spin, if you don't practice healthy behaviors to get back down into your body, you know, like you store feelings in your whole body, in your hands and your feet. You know, anyone who's a musician knows, or is an artist knows, you train the memory and the feelings into your body, and we store and keep feelings all over our body, especially emotions in the hips and things like this. You know, metaphysical people and yogis and stuff they'll just preach this because it's true. You know, I find myself reaching out for foods as soon as I lay down drugs. I find myself reaching out for digital fake-ass prana, you know, likes and psychs and, you know, gifts of motorbikes. And I have to step away from it. I mean, actually, I don't have to. There's an example of negative thinking and bad internal self-talk. I don't have to do any of these things. But I'll be much happier if I do. Everyone will be happier if I become whole. But especially me first, you know. I'll be so much more glad and joyful when I don't feel obliged to pick up my phone and check Twitter, to redundantly lay and scroll Facebook, to sweat and pressure myself into how I'm going to supply an effective 3 or 4 hour live stream this week for the people that enjoy it so much. I can't do it no more, folks. And I can't reassure you that I'm going to come back and do it at all. And I offer you my sincere condolences if that makes you sad or upset, but I also I request your prayers and your love and your energy and your support in taking this crucial step to not just be moving away from being asleep and automatic like so many of us are, you know, automatically eating whatever we want, never exercising, never doing all the healthy things I just listed. But once you get out of that and you become somewhat awake and alive, and you realize whatever that was no good and you're done with it, and whatever this is, you like it, that's only a starting point, in my opinion. It's not really opinion. That's the starting point. You've become awake and alive and whole, and you recognize in the present moment that you feel good and happy and loved, and that you have a greater faith in your spirituality and God or whatever it might mean to you. So from that point, we can build until we become... I would say we can build until we become immortal until we die. And that's what I'm working on. I'm gonna demonstrate how to become more full of light, how to become a more perfect shining example for everybody, and do it with ego, but with ego in check, and without hypocrisy and lies, and especially without fronting. It can't be on the surface. It has to be real. And for that to happen, I got to cancel the Picture Show live stream. I don't have what it takes inside of my heart to be honest and true and genuine. A lot of the shows you've been seeing for weeks are just me fronting. I'm just fronting for you, and I'm really good at it. I'm excellent at running my mouth and making it look like I'm the shit. But it's not true. I'm hurting in here. I got to step away. I love you all very much, and I appreciate you. Like I said, I'll probably still publish something at some point. It probably won't be live stuff. It might not be anything like Picture Show, and it probably won't be any time in the next few weeks because I'm gonna step away. I got to step away. I love you all. Peace out. God bless.